Okay, cool. And we
Do
are.
you want to do a sound check, make sure that this conversation is really...
I think that they'll
sure?
hear it.
You're
Yeah.
Okay.
It's rolling now with the red, and I hope that
Okay.
we're on camera well. But hello, my friends. How are you? I'm here at True North Health with my friend Dr. Clapper, and I just wanted to clear up some of the fears, perhaps. Most of you are educated and have a lot of faith in my judgment, but there are some of you out there that think that I've got some kind of mental instability, or I'm starving myself to death for some kind of penance. And I just wanted to let Dr. Clapper share his experiences and maybe clear up a few of the myths, and we can talk about the risks and benefits of fasting. First of all, I want to ask you, Dr. Clapper, how long have you been a medical doctor?
This is my 40th year. I graduated in 1972, 40 years ago.
So he was a medical doctor before I was even born. So that's really cool. And you've been here at True North Health for how long?
This is my 3rd year here now.
And so how many water fasts have you supervised approximately?
Sure. Well, 200 a year, about 250 or so, about 750 fasts so far, almost 800 fasts so far.
And before that, did you study fasting at all?
Yes, I've certainly studied fasting. I've had many patients who have been fasting. I used to fast people on the outside. But Dr. Goldhammer, who works here, has fasted over 7,000 people, and so their knowledge is shared here. That's one of the
How many
beauties of
people
working
have
here.
starved to death at True North Health?
0, not one.
0. How many people have died?
0,
Okay.
not one.
Cool. So, and how many people have benefited?
Oh, 7,000 at least, I would say. Absolutely.
Every time that you know of, when someone comes in here and goes into a state of inanition or fasting,
Right.
there is benefit.
Yes, it's a cleanse. There's no question about it, and people come out the other side. I'm not saying it's a walk in the park, and sometimes it's a stress, but it's similar to going out for a long run. It doesn't feel great while you're running. Your lungs are breathing hard, your muscles are sore, but afterwards, when the body restores itself, whoa, you're leaner and stronger and healthier, and your heart is stronger for it. Fasting is roughly analogous on a metabolic level. It drains the tank. It does so many good things. And when I say drain the tank, certain ATP stores in the mitochondria decrease for a while. But during a fast, it's a water fast, so you're drinking water, and water is flushing through your cells. When you think about it, welcome to modern 21st century life. All of us in our fat stores and our cells, we have remnant molecules of every fast food meal we ever ate, every restaurant meal. There's colorings, preservatives, flavorings, stabilizers. All that chemical soup is in our cells.
What about vaccinations and etc.?
That's another issue.
You don't even
but just
go
on a
there.
strictly chemical level. And one of the nice things on a fast is not only do you stop all that coming in, but for X number of days, 7, 14, 21 days, or longer, you've got water washing through your cells, and it's like taking your cells to a car wash, and those contaminants leave, and afterwards, whoa, you bet you feel better on the inside. It's a true chemical
Mostly
rejuvenation.
because the cells are just functioning at a higher level.
Oh, there's many reasons, but that's certainly one of them. And so,
What are a couple of the other major reasons why the physical organism is operating at a higher level when someone is finished fasting?
You're generally a lighter person. Most people lose a bit of weight, but also blood flow is everything in the body when it comes to healing, when it comes to function. And fasting does good things for the blood flow on a number of levels. As the fast goes on, blood vessels dilate a bit. There's just increased volume of blood flow. But also, again, eating a standard diet, people eat vegetable oils and dairy fats, etc. And these fats in the diet get out into the bloodstream and they coat the red blood cells. And the blood cells become sticky and they start sticking together. There's a low-grade attraction. But as a result, the entire blood cell mass becomes more viscous. The blood viscosity goes up on a standard diet. And viscous blood is harder to push through the tiny little capillary beds. It requires a higher pressure to do that. It's just less efficient at dropping off oxygen, picking up waste products. Well, on a fast, when there's just water going through the bloodstream, the blood becomes much less viscous. It flows much easier through the capillary beds, brings more oxygen to it, all the way around. It revs up the engine. It puts a nice clean fuel through the body on a physical sense as well. And again, the person's usually a few pounds lighter. You don't need to be a whole lot lighter, but most folks certainly are. And so the pressure drops drops to a lower blood pressure, which is certainly easier on the piping system. And I've often said if you'll pardon me, a bit of a lengthy answer on this one. The National Institute of Health, the NIH in Bethesda, our federal institution of health, consists of 27 different institutes. The National Eye Institute, Heart, Lung, and Blood, National Institute of Mental Health. Not one of those 27 institutes has the name nutrition in the title. And there is no National Institute of Nutrition. There certainly should be. And if the world was sane, if our nation was sane, there would be a 28th National Institute of Nutrition. And within it would be the Division of Fasting Studies. And they would bring people into the lab and they would study this phenomenon. I mean, it's a remarkable phenomenon. If there was a pill that did what 21 days on water would do, it lowers high blood pressure, clears out your insulin receptors, so type 2 diabetes gets better or goes away, inflamed joints get better, colitis settles down. It's a remarkable modality. Well, this should be taken into the lab and studied, and they should fast people, do blood tests, do skin and needle muscle biopsies, see what's happening. And one thing I submit they will probably find was brought out when I read Lance Armstrong's book, It's Not About the Bike. And he described he got this terrible testicular cancer in his brain all over. He had to go through chemotherapy. And he describes the hellish experience that was. But he says he noted his muscle mass went down due to the chemotherapy and not eating, etc. But being Lance Armstrong, when it came time to rehabilitate himself, he got on that stationary bike and he started pedaling and pedaling and pedaling. And there was a powerful line in that chapter. He says, my muscles came back, but they came back different. And clearly he went out and won Tour de France 7 times after that, and clearly something happened to his muscle metabolism. Well, I don't know what it is, that should be studied. But I think fasting on some level evokes a phenomenon slightly similar, related to that somehow. It drains the muscle tissue down, and then when you start eating again and fill it up with lots of good plant-based nutrients, those muscles come back on slightly biochemically different somehow. I think it's a leaner, cleaner metabolic machine as well. So there's many reasons why a fast can exert a lot of positive effects.
Have you heard about the notion of the higher levels of human growth hormone?
I've heard about them, haven't measured. That's again the National Institute of Health Division Fasting.
We need to do this.
Exactly. That should be one of the hundreds of things that should be documented. Absolutely. It's not speculation, but it's a studyable phenomenon. I just need the money. No, there's no money to be made from it, so no one will do it.
So there's this much pills and surgery and this much fasting.
Well,
and this is like the one place in the world, one of the very few places in the world that is taking notes, documenting every single day, coming in the morning, coming in the evening, checking on me. Am I doing okay after 9 days of not eating?
Then you are doing excellent here.
Am I at any risk?
Zero, for a number of reasons. One, you're basically a healthy man. Second, and most importantly, you're in an institution where we're conducting medically supervised fasting. You got doctors walking around here on campus. The intern knocks on your door twice a day. We're checking your blood pressure and your vital signs twice a day. We draw blood every week. We're hovering over you, and so you're not going to get in trouble. We take your vital signs every day.
At the first sign of difficulty.
At the first sign, and we
give
check.
Give this guy some watermelon.
Yeah, absolutely, and we do that not infrequently, and that's why we check. You can, when someone's reaching the end of a fast or getting any type of metabolic stress, well, you feel it in their pulse. The pulse gets fast and tappy and urgent. You know they're doing metabolic work. Your pulse is a sweet, slow 52 a minute. Your pulse yawns in between beats there. And when I felt your pulse yesterday morning on rounds, I was so reassured because you're doing great. And it's one of the ways that we determine, and everybody's different, and when does the doctor say enough, the fast is over? Well, part of it is in the pulse, and that's why we're looking after you. And you right now, being as healthy as you are, your body's loving this. You are cruising. You got a sweet, steady pulse here, and see, lovely, exactly, and it's a pretty pulse. The pulse wave, each heartbeat is there's a round contour to it. There's no urgency to it. It's a steady, slow pulse, no extra beats.
Raw food diet.
Absolutely, absolutely. So you've got days left in that pulse as far as your fast goes.
I'm experiencing very rapid results. I mean, literally, the biggest thing that I'm vain, so to see the wrinkles under my eyes disappear, to see the pressure on my liver disappearing out of my forehead.
Oh, you look 10 years younger.
I thought I looked 5 years younger when I was looking in the mirror, but I feel this lightness of being. Now, sitting around here doing nothing, that ain't the easiest thing in the world, but it's a form of meditation, which is good for my spirit.
That's what we need to do, and it's part of the rules of fasting, that you don't do physical exercise. You can do a little yoga, a little stretching, take a little walk around in our courtyard a couple times a day, and that's it. No aerobics, no strength moves, because we don't want you burning muscle. Now, a fast is burning off your fat stores. We don't want to stress that body so you start burning up muscles. So this is a time to fast from everything, fast from the news, fast from your hassles, and pull your energy in. It's a spiritual experience as well as a physical one, and it's a lovely place to do this. We're in a nice part of Santa Rosa, California, north of San Francisco.
Sunny every day.
Sun is kind of beautiful for January. We're having a lovely winter here. It's going to be in the 60s today. And no, it's a very pleasing place to do exactly this. On a water fast, it's a time for marshaling your energy, and you're doing a beautiful job. You're very responsible.
I'm enjoying myself quite a bit. So we've talked. The potential benefits are innumerable.
Oh,
we could go on
it's
forever.
Huge. Yes, books have been
and so obviously there's some conditions that are just too far.
Yes, right.
But I would look at myself just to in all humility, to be like, I'm pretty smart. Coming in here before these, this little stiffness here, the pressure in my head is not cool. I'm not functioning at my best. Problem with my knee is better, my elbows are better, and I basically, I'll be honest with you guys, I've had a headache for like 15 years, as long as I can remember. Now, I did a lot of drugs. I don't really need to say which ones, but some of the more harsher ones that make your teeth fall out and make your brain damage and ruin your serotonin and dopamine receptors. But I'm bouncing back, and that's why I'm here, and that's why I'm on day 9, and I'm going to keep going.
Right.
So, I feel safe, I feel smart. I've read every book on fasting I could ever get my hands on.
Right.
And I don't think this will be my last fast in my life.
No, it's a lovely thing to do once a year. We have people who they come here for a health vacation every year. They say we could spend 2 weeks in Las Vegas and wind up fatter, sicker, and poorer, or we can come to True North and leave here healthier and lighter and leaner and with some more money in our pocket.
Couple bucks.
And just cost a few bucks. They're not out to gouge you here.
It's a non-profit.
Yes, the foundation's non-profit. You can't say the holiday inn for what you pay here.
No, I paid more for a motel room for sure.
Absolutely,
for one night.
yes. And here you get medical supervision and 3 meals a day, and laundry and internet and lectures. And no, we look after you.
The staff here is above and beyond.
Lovely people.
Customer service. It's real.
Yes.
So the potential benefits, Bill, are innumerable. Whether you're young, old, whatever. But let's talk about some potential risks for a minute.
Yeah. Well, everyone who comes to True North for any stay, only about half the people fast. Half of the folks, they just eat a lean, clean, vegan diet. And half the people do a juice, the remainders, half of those that remain do a juice fast, the other quarter do water fast, and there's indications for each. And a lot depends on what the underlying problem is, but there are some people who it's not appropriate to fast. Everyone who comes in is examined by, there's 2 MDs here, myself and Dr. Peter Sultana, and everyone is seen by one of the 2 MDs, and they're examined, medical history is taken, and after lab results are reviewed, if they've had those done, then the person and the doctor comes to an agreement, what's the best way to use your time here? And there's some folks who it's not safe to fast. This is really set up for advanced cancer patients. We wouldn't fast those folks. And there are people who, the rule is on a fast that you stop all medications, all supplements. And it's not because we're trying to be pure. What happens is that when you take any medicine, hormone, etc., as it gets into the bloodstream, it's bound immediately to albumin, globulins, various carrier proteins. And it binds fairly tightly. There's only like 1% free drug or free hormone at any given time in the bloodstream. Well, as a fast progresses and these molecules called ketones come into the bloodstream from breaking down fat stores, it seems that things don't bind so tightly to albumin and you get more free drug. You get 2%, 3%, 5% free drug, and you start seeing side effects on everything. And you don't fast someone on beta blockers. You don't fast them on vitamins. Niacin will make their head spin. B6 will make them nauseated. So you stop absolutely everything. So with that understanding, it's a complete water fast, period. In fact, it's a time for things to move out of the body. So no skin lotions, no cosmetics, brush your teeth with water. We don't want people swallowing mint oil and all that stuff in the toothpaste. So it's a time for cleansing. There's some people who are on medications they can't stop. They're on prednisone or antidepressants, whatever, and as desirable as it might be to get off of them, some people, if they're on medicines they can't stop, then they don't water fast, and they juice fast. And we'll bring them 4 big 16-ounce glasses of fresh juice every day, and it's a much less stressful, safer way to get through a cleanse. So by and large, those are the real issues. If you're on medication you can't stop, then you don't water fast. I've covered these in a DVD that I made. We'll talk about that. Are there any real dangers? Not really if you're in a medically supervised place. And that's why, as I mentioned in my DVD, everybody can, if you're a basically healthy person, everyone can do 5 days on water at home. 6 or so. You don't do more than 5 or 6 days. You ought to be where someone's looking after you for a number of reasons, because people get lightheaded, they may faint, you don't want to be alone in your apartment and pass out 10 days on a water fast. If you start vomiting, now we see a lot of things, especially early in the fast, when as our fat stores start melting off and these molecules that we have in our tissues start coming into the bloodstream, on the way to the liver and the kidney to be excreted, some of those molecules stir up a little mischief. Some people get nauseated, some get skin rashes, some cough, some salivate. You see everything in the first few days in a fast. Most of those are not serious symptoms. A couple you have to pay a little attention to. And again, it helps to have an experienced doc looking over you to let you know, that's not a serious thing, or that's of concern. So for that reason, the general rule is 5 days you can do at home. Certainly everyone can fast on a weekend. You can just drink tea, nice clear tea or clear vegetable broth on a weekend. Just do water on a weekend. It's a lovely thing to do once or twice a month. You can do a 5-day fast on your own with no real danger, unless you're serious medical problems. And you can be off and you're on no medications. But beyond that, then you want a doc checking in on you once or twice a day, just to check their pulse, check their blood pressure. And we look for vomiting. We look for people getting so lightheaded that they can't stand up. At that point, you think about stopping the fast. And I really want to commend you for the maturity and flexibility of your attitude that you brought into the fast. We have people come in, I'm going to do a 30-day fast, I'm going to do a 40-day fast. Well, that's all well and good and has noble, symbolic, 40 days in the desert, kind of meaning attached to it. But that's maybe what you want to do. Your body's may have something else in mind. Everyone has a specific reserve left in that body. And for that reason, that's why we check you and we hover over you and see what's happening as you get towards the end of the fast. And people have to be flexible enough that, listen, you may want to do 30 days, but if on day 22 your body says, I can't do this anymore, then you got to fine. That's what I had in reserve in this fast. It was a successful fast. Yay, it did what it did. and not to regard it as a failure, not to push yourself beyond a safe limit. So that's why it helps to have people around you to give you a little bit of guidance, a little bit of support. But you've come in with that lovely attitude. You want to do a prolonged fast, and boy, from what I'm feeling in your pulse today, boy, you got days and days left in that pulse, no problem. Okay. But as we tell all our participants, there comes a point, after your 5 or 10 days, whatever you can do, then it's day by day. Every day we'll ask you, so you want to go another day or not, and your pulse tells us, the look in your eyes, the tone of the voice, we know how much reserve you have in there, and that's why you're here. We're experienced at picking up those cues that say, thing that we've gone as far as we should at this point. And we do a very gradual refeed. And the general rule is, however many days you fast for, we need half again as many for a refeed. If you do a 10-day fast, you want a 5-day refeed, and a 30-day fast, you need at least 10 to 14 days for a refeed. And because you got to slowly get those guts working again, dealing with solid food there. So there's a progression that we go through. So, so there's few contraindications. As I said, people with advanced cancer, people on medications they can't stop. Those are the two that we generally. Oh, and type 1 diabetes. If you're requiring insulin shots, you shouldn't be doing a water fast. But those are about it. Most everybody will benefit from a fast, from a water fast. But as I said, we serve a really lean, clean vegan diet here. No oils, no salt, no sugar, no processed carbohydrates, no breads or pastas here. It's a big, chopped up fruit for breakfast with oatmeal. Lunches and dinners are soups and salads and steamed greens and lentil stews. And for most Americans out there living on cheeseburgers and milkshakes and pizzas, coming in and eating this diet is a fast for them. I mean, it's a cleansing thing to do just to come here and eat.
You see a lot of results just coming in
it's stunning. It's stunning. We don't take before and after pictures of people who come in here, but so many times when we do the exit interview and the person's leaving, I'll say, boy, I wish we had a picture of her or him when they first came in here, because the transformations are stunning. They're just remarkable.
So real food is helpful.
Oh, real food is
fasting.
Just let food be your medicine.
Sometimes is fasting the only, like I've been raw food for 11 years, and I didn't do in 11 years what I've done in 9 days here. I can just feel the space in my kidneys, my liver.
It's a remarkable thing, and again, I don't know, who knows on a mitochondrial level what your vitamin level is doing in there. That we should know about that. You do a little skinny muscle biopsy, take out just a couple of muscle fibers and analyze them and see what is your ATP level, what is your glutathione levels. We really should know what's happening in those cells. Something good is happening there.
We should promote the study of fasting.
Oh, absolutely. But right now it's just empirical. Just as a physician, we both know that you're doing well. But boy, it should be nice to really get into the science of it.
Okay.
But that may well.
Well, as the years go on, I will promote that. I won't per se promote fasting, but I'll tell everyone they should look into it, read about it, and get their own ideas about it. I've been fascinated with it since day one. It's taken me 11 years to get here. This is the longest I've gone without food, and this is the best I've felt. My mind feels like a glowing orb right now.
And I'd really like to tell your viewers that it's so counterintuitive. People think, on a fast you just get weak and cold and you're shut down, you're not eating, you're starving, you're hungry, you're miserable. Actually, the opposite happens. People can get a little hungry for the first couple of days, looking for dinner, I suppose. But during the first 48 to 72 hours, you're just burning off circulating blood sugar, stored glycogen in your muscles. The actual metabolic fast doesn't really start till about day 3, about 72 hours in, until you burn off the blood sugar. And at that point, as you start melting off fat stores, you break down long-chain fatty acids. These molecules called ketones come into the bloodstream. And they have some remarkable properties to them. 2 very welcome ones. One, they suppress hunger. And about day 4, 5, or 6, hunger pretty much goes away. You see people down in our dining room here, the fasters watching everybody else eat. And you say, are you hungry? I'm not even hungry. And it's a remarkable thing. God's gift to fasters. You don't spend 20 days hungry. Actually, the hunger goes away. And second, the ketones bring with them, usually, as you're saying here, a real feeling of well-being. People feel light and energized, and they say it's the best I've felt in years, and people ride that all the way through the majority of the fast. When that starts to fade, you think about ending the fast here. But again, a little counterintuitive, but you wind up feeling energized and clear. It's remarkable state to be in. So it's something to be afraid of, and you kind of make that leap there, but the reward is just tremendous. Now also, there's other rewards here, and one of which is that people come in with on their bag full of pills here, and they're on blood pressure pills with Cinepril and beta blockers, they're on metformin for their diabetes, they're on NSAIDs for their arthritis. Well, most of these are dietary induced diseases from eating fat and sugar and all the processed foods Americans do. Bacon and eggs for breakfast, cheeseburgers for lunch, pizza for dinner, and ice cream for dessert. We blow ourselves up, clog ourselves up. And so you need these pills to keep you from having a stroke or a heart attack. Well, on this food, one of the first things we do in the fasting program is stop the pills, and we're watching you. Yes, stop your blood pressure pills. Sometimes we taper it over a couple days, but mostly you stop them. But again, we're knocking on your door twice a day, checking your blood pressure, make sure it doesn't spike up. This is nutritional medicine done right. The good news is that, again, we get people off their pills, and then when it comes time for the exit exam, and they're 15 pounds lighter, and their blood sugars are normal, and their blood pressures are normal, they don't have to start back on their pills again. They walk out of here off their pills. Not everyone, but the majority of them are on fewer pills or none at all. And this is a tremendous liberation because they're actually healthier. Their blood's less viscous, their arteries are more open. You can run the system at a lower pressure, and people rejoice that they get off their medications. So, this is often very specific. So people come in here with high blood pressure, and they do a fast, and I've seen it now several times. Excuse me. Please turn off your cell phones. I will not going to answer this question. Okay. And I've seen this a number of times now. People come in for a fast for high blood pressure, and they're on a water fast, and their pressure stays up 150, 90, day after day after day, 10 days, 14 days, 20 days. Everybody's getting discouraged. About day 21, boom, 110/70. And finally the arteries open up, the blood finally has become less viscous, and finally the pressure drops, and they no longer have the disease of high blood pressure. So it's a very powerful modality for that. Now, very importantly though, I emphasize in my lectures here, and we do to every patient, is if you do 10, 20 days on water, that's wonderful. But the most important thing is what you eat when you leave here. It's the food stream day after day, week after week, month after month, that really makes a difference. You want to get lean and healthy, eat a lean, healthy, health-supporting diet. But if people do all this wonderful work, and then they go back out there and start eating the same old food again, guess what happens? And all this stuff, all the diseases come back. So this is a leg up, this is a bootstrap up to another level of health, but then you got to guard it every day by eating really clean, healthy foods, and so that's that's more important than the fast itself.
Fruits and vegetables.
Oh, basically, yeah, it's a lean, clean vegan diet, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, that was a great interview.
Yes, good. I think we got some good information out there.
We are very, very lucky
that
he took his time with us today to get us excited about the potential of just healthy food, and also the safety and the efficacy of fasting. Like I said, 9 days without food now, and in 9 days without food, it has done what 11 years of 99% raw food has not done.
You look great, man. You're going to be one of those when you leave. I'll say, well, I wish we had a picture when he came in. You're going to be one of those as well.
I was pretty beat up.
Yeah, you were stressed out. You were a little raggedy there, but man, you look great. You're really good. Man.
Well, thank you, sir.
Do you have the
I
video?
brought it.
Right,
this was my idea.
Okay, good.
To let you guys know that Dr. Clapper has a DVD on fasting, and you can get that at drclapper.com.
Right, www. Spelled out DOCTORKLAPER 1pnclapper.com. So www.drclapper.com spelled out. And everything and more that I've laid out here is on the tapes. How to do it, who should, who shouldn't, and how to do a fast properly. It's all laid out.
And you know, it's easy. I watched it, and it's anybody can understand it.
Yeah.
It's so basic that it's beautiful.
Yeah.
So thanks a lot, you guys, for letting me share this information with you. Maybe clear some stuff up. I feel great. I'm just going to keep on going day to day. 10 days was my original goal, because that was. I have a 7 days, 10 days, 14 days, 21 days, 30 days.
That's the way to
you know,
do it.
Goals as far as a spiritual person, as far as wanting to stay younger, represent my life's work better, which is just getting out there and teaching health. And the better I look, the more, when I say fruits and vegetables, nuts and seeds, and there's this dude up there on the stage with his juicer, and he's, you can see his aura, they're going to say, well, what about protein? But still, this guy, he's doing okay, so maybe I should go eat some fruits and vegetables. So I have a long-term plan for my life. Make one for yours. Health is definitely a part of it. Abundance, love, and peace. And I am honored. I love you, Dr. Clapper. You're very encouraging every day that I see you.
Good.
He comes in and encourages me, and that just keeps me going. And so thank you very much.
Great.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
drclapper.com. I'll spell it again. www.doctorklapper.com. And what is it, 14 bucks or something?
$19.95 plus
$19.95. It's worth it. Get yourself educated. It took me 11 years of educating myself on fasting until I realized that it wasn't something. I was trying the orange diets and the watermelon diets, and maybe we could talk for 2 more seconds on why the body won't do certain things when there's sugar being introduced.
Yeah, it's a different gear, and you know, the term juice fasting really is a misnomer. It's really a 600-calorie liquid diet, the truth of it is. Well, when sugar's coming in, then you don't shift into that ketosis gear. You don't start melting off your fat stores, and you don't have the ketones that do whatever ketones do, and that whole cascade of good things that happen when the body shifts into that metabolic fasting gear.
So almost the juice fasting and the juice diets are almost just like a really clean diet.
It is, exactly, and it's wonderful, especially if you're eating white bread and cheese and all this stuff. Oh, a watermelon fast is wonderful. But if you're getting an official fast to turn around a disease, you're trying to end your high blood pressure or diabetes, whatever, you want to do a water fast.
If you've got some deep issues that may have come from way
back, then you pull out the heavy artillery.
I'm digging deep. I'm going with the water.
All right.
Awesome.
You got it. Okay. Health comes from healthy living. So live healthy.
You heard it right here. Okay. Subscribe to these videos and comment down below. Give us both a thumbs up, and we sure appreciate your time and attention. All right. Peace be with y'all.